Hey there, it's Wake Angel 2001 back with another Sonic shirt. Seriously, my closet's full of these. And another vlog about a past Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. We have got up to Sonic Underground, which, as far as I'm aware, came out around 1999. Not sure exactly, because I didn't actually know that this aired when it first came out, which is rare for me. Now, a couple of videos ago, I noticed some comments and that people were saying that this was their favorite Sonic cartoon. My reply is, really? This is your favorite Sonic cartoon? Really? I mean, it's been pretty negatively reviewed, and I can't really disagree with the negative reviews. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, like I said, I didn't know that this cartoon aired in its own time. I first found out about the Sonic Underground continuity from the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book. Let's see, the basic plot synopsis of that issue of the comic was, let's see. I read this comic a long time ago. It's probably in this box behind me. I'm not going to dig through it though. So the basic story of the comic was, way back in the early issues of the comic, like I think around issue 20 or even before then, a cyborg Sonic visited the Prime Sonic's world and told him that his version of Robotnik, who had roboticized himself to become more powerful, had built a giant battle Borg which he was going to use to conquer the multiverse. So all the Sonics from all the multiverse teamed together to defeat the giant Borg, which was dismantled into individual pieces, and each Sonic took a piece back with them to their own universe. Sonic the Zone Cop, in this issue, found evidence that these pieces were being recollected so that the Borg could be reassembled. And the evidence was that all the pieces were collected except for one. So he took Prime Sonic because, you know, Sonic the Zone Cop always goes to the Prime Sonic when he needs help with these big multiverse things. And he took him to a universe where there were these three hedgehogs. One of them was clearly Sonic, and he was playing the guitar. But then there was a pink hedgehog playing a keyboard, and a green hedgehog playing the drums. These are his siblings, Manic and Sonya. And it turns out that this was a universe that Sonic forgot about. It's kind of hilarious. Like, this was a universe that actually slipped under Sonic's radar. There's probably jokes I can make there about how unimportant it is, or how dumb it is, or how unlikable it is that everyone ignored it, but I'm not going to go there, because frankly this issue wasn't bad. They described that there was a prophecy. When they were little kids, Dr. Robotnik launched a coup to take over the world, and their mother went into hiding. She left them in the care of trusted officials. Sonic was raised by his Uncle Chuck. Sonya was raised by a good-hearted noble. Manic was supposed to be raised by someone, but he ended up getting taken by bandits or something and raised as an outlaw. And they met each other again as teenagers, and they formed this band where they resist Robotnik however they can. You know, like, you know, rock music is anarchy, man. Fight the establishment, dude. And yada yada yada. The prophecy says that at some point in the future, the three siblings are supposed to be reunited with their mother. Well, they'll form the Council of Four, and they'll save the world, which is still Mobius, from Robotnik's evil rule. So that's how I found out about it. I hadn't realized that this had gone to TV series until years later. I think I didn't find out that this was a series almost until Sonic X came out. Like, from what I understand, it would have been around 1999 this cartoon first aired. Again, it's made by Deke, same animation studio. Jaleel White provides the voice for all three siblings, which is kind of funny, because he's doing three voices, kind of showing off his range for being Sonic. I think this is probably what put him off of playing Sonic, so that he didn't want to do it for Sonic Generations, which some people might count as a reason to dislike this show, but I'm not going to be petty. I keep telling myself I'm not going to be petty about this show. What's wrong with me? Alright, so, like I said, despite not seeing the show in its time, I did catch it in reruns, and I'm pretty sure I've seen every episode at least once. So, the first episode, kind of have... Actually, in the first episode, you kind of have a Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia thing when Sonya kisses Sonic, and it isn't until later that it's revealed that they know that they're siblings. So, what the heck is up with that? Yeah. It was pretty chaste, but still, you know, wow. Star Wars parallels. Okay, going on about the series. Let's see. In this one, Robotnik is in the process of conquering the world, but he doesn't have full control just yet. The noble, it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to understand, but he's like sort of using the authority, the money and authority that the noble class has, the nobility. Like he probably has them threatened, like they have to provide him with money and resources or also roboticize them. So long as they can support his efforts, they get a seat of power instead of being, you know, turned into mechanical abominations. Sonya's foster mother was roboticized in this continuity, by the way. And I believe so was Uncle Chuck, which is sad. Don't really remember, sorry. I'm working, all these vlogs are working on my memory. So yeah, like, what are the negatives of the show? I'm gonna say the negatives of the show first, and then the positives to redeem them. The negatives is that every episode has an insert song. And oh boy, these are the worst insert songs I have ever seen in any cartoon ever. They are ear-bleedingly bad. I tried listening to them and they just made me want to hit myself in the face repeatedly. I never got through an episode of this show without muting the TV during the insert songs because they are that bad. Oh god, the insert songs are bad. Ugh. The music is terrible, the singing in them is terrible. I just don't like them. Ugh. I give me chills thinking about how bad the insert songs are. Ugh. Another negative is the art style. You can clearly see that they were trying to go with a more SATAM inspired look, but the thing is, although the environments do look pretty nice, the other characters, they don't stylistically match the Sonic. Like, their character models are too detailed. They're wearing too many clothes. Like, having Sonic run around in nothing but gloves and shoes like an old school Disney character looks so weird when everybody else in the world is fully dressed. It makes him look like some kind of weird nudist. And of course Manic has just like a shirt on and Sonya's wearing clothes because female Sonic characters always wear clothes, blah. Yeah, like stylistically, the other members of the cast, all the background characters, don't match the Sonic trio themselves, which is really jarring to look at. It's just not right. But yeah, the quality of the animation itself is good. The backgrounds look good. It's just the background character designs. They don't work. So yeah, bad insert songs, bad character designs. Oh yeah, and it's never really explained why Queen Alina can't see her kids. Because we see her, like, there's several episodes where she's like looking at her kids from behind buildings, and even in the theme song she says she longs for her children, but she has to wait. To act too soon could seal their fate. They never explain exactly what the hell they're supposed to do. I mean, aside from the pendants they wear that turn into musical weapons, there's no magic or mystical powers in the show. What exactly would Queen Alina reuniting with her kid at some nebulous point in the future do to save the world from Robotnik's tyranny? It's not explained. We don't understand. And they never even come close to, like, there's no hints or foreshadowing as to what they might do. And it makes the fact that the series ended without giving a proper conclusion feel that much worse. So that's the third real big flaw. They never adequately explain why Alina can't just reunite with them so they can plan strategy. Now positives. This was the first Sonic cartoon, made in America, to feature Knuckles as a character. I gotta take this. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, this was the first Sonic cartoon made in America to feature Knuckles as a character. And not only Knuckles, but his great-grandfather, Ether, a character who was originally introduced in the Archie comic book series. That's pretty cool. And Ether's character design is somewhat reminiscent of Pachacamic from the Sonic Adventure game. A little bit. So yeah, there's that. And you know, they even had like a budding romance subplot between Knuckles and Sonya. That was kind of cool. Yeah. And this show was the first one to have a fully realized cartoon version of the Death Egg and the Chaos Emeralds as they actually appear. You know, like as a multifaceted gemstone. So that was cool. Although, like, I guess they did kind of have problems. Like there was a scene where Knuckles was fighting with Sonic because, you know, Eggman duped him into thinking he was a bad guy. Knuckles' fighting technique is to just kind of whirl his hands around so that they become these pink blurs, and he just kind of rushes. They got really lazy with the fight animation sometimes. Yeah. But still, the whole having Knuckles as a character with not Pachacamic, Ether, that was cool. That was interesting and unique. Now there was Dr. Robotnik in this series had two minions. I believe their names were Sleet and Dingo. One of them was like a gray wolf, and the other was this big, overly muscled orange dingo with an Australian accent. I think that the wolf guy, he had like this kind of voice, like a cross between like some kind of pseudo German accent. I think it's supposed to be. I don't know what you would call this. Sort of a little bit like a sinister Kid Kroger from Futurama. It sounds kind of like that. So they had powers like Dingo is a shapeshifter, but by remote control. Sleet would push a button on a remote control and turn Dingo into whatever useful thing they needed. There was one episode where they had stolen Angel Island's Chaos Emerald. I think they just still call it the Floating Island, but I'm not sure. And Sleet turned Dingo into a suitcase and put the Chaos Emerald in there, but the Chaos Emerald radiation caused him to turn into this giant mutant blob monster. That's kind of cool that they did that. It was something interesting and unique, and it showed what kinds of crazy crap the Chaos Emerald can do. What was the Chaos Emerald? And the Death Egg itself was also powered by a Chaos Emerald, but another Chaos Emerald. Yeah, I guess it wasn't too bad. Yeah, it's basically the show progressed. You have Manic, Sonya, and the pendants they wear can temporarily undo the brainwashing process of the roboticization. One of their allies, his father was captured and roboticized, but they were able to use the pendants to temporarily restore his mind so he could help them work on a device that they needed. And they used this a couple of times over the course of the show. And there's a fair limit put. Like, when they use their pendants in that way, they can't turn into weapons, and then the time that it takes the pendants to recharge is longer than the time that the Robian would stay, sane and able to think like themselves. So you can't just keep spamming this ability, which is a good trade-off. I like how that worked. The cartoon had some really bad pacing. they never adequately explained what exactly Queen Alina and her kids were supposed to do. Like that really kills a lot of the momentum for the show. You're like, why? Why are we not able to just get the band together and save the world? What are they supposed to do? That's the real big problem with the show. That was what they were supposed to do was never explained, I'm guessing they thought that the audience just didn't care. They just wanted to see them have these adventures where they foil Robotnik's plan of the week. I mean, I guess that's not a bad idea for a first season, but you know, they didn't have a second season. So yeah, I guess this is a really divisive show. It's nowhere near as well written as a SATAM cartoon, and it's clear that they were just trying. They tried too hard in some areas and not hard enough in other areas. So this is a very mixed bag of a show. I can see why people would like it, although I really can't see how it could be your favorite. I just don't see it. But that's just me. Notably, the comic book was supposed to have an epilogue for the series. Like, after the Worlds Collide story arc concluded, the next story arc in Sonic Universe was supposed to be set in the Sonic Underground universe so that they could finally conclude it. They could have Queen Alina get back together with her kids, defeat their version of Robotnik, and have a happy ending for this series that the show itself never got. Which would be a nice bookend, because as far as I'm aware, the comic book served as a backdoor pilot to this series. Because I'm pretty sure the comic book came first, then they made the cartoon. Like, the comic book was supposed to entice you into this series. Unfortunately, they had to do the reboot right after right after the Worlds Collide story arc ended, which is unfortunate. That means that, at best, this project got delayed quite a bit. So hopefully they will be able to get back to it once the new continuity of the new status quo of the post-reboot Sonic comic stabilizes. But until then, this series is just left floating in the ether, like, what's happened? Alright, this is, I really don't have anything more to say about this cartoon, so I'm just gonna sign out, and I'll see you for the next Sonic cartoon. The next one would be Sonic X, which is a big one.